Hi everyone. So after getting the Raspberry Pi 4, one of the main things that I wanted to do with it was to see how well it functioned as a workstation. To that end, one of the things which I had done right off the bat was to do a full system update after installing Raspbian, of course. The full system update did include several firmware updates. Interestingly enough, one was released the day after I did purchase it, so that was interesting. I did one recently earlier today also. In addition to the firmware updates, which caused no issues on my device, I was also able to overclock the unit itself. The settings are right here behind me. If you can read them, excellent. If you cannot, they will be directly below in the description. This is in the boot config file. So the nice thing about this boot config file also is if for some reason you do mess up and you say try to overclock it too much and the system locks while it's starting up, because of this Noobs distro that came with the Cana kit, you can just hit shift when the machine is powering up. It brings you right back into the menu, and there is a little box right on top, edit config, and you can remove that setting or drop that setting and then escape out of it, and then it will boot normally. Hopefully will boot normally, but obviously you're going to be getting rid of those settings just to make sure you can get it back down to a working level before attempting to tweak it anymore. So the settings I have are slightly less than what I found online in terms of overclocking, but for my purposes, they're working absolutely fine. Interesting point in comparison. If you see in the background behind that config file, that is OpenShot. It is effectively a open source video editing software. On this machine, which is obviously only a little Raspberry Pi with an ARM processor and 4 gigs of RAM, compared to my laptop, which is a quad-core with 16 gigs of RAM. Video editing, interestingly, works just about the same on both. They both lock up just as much, they both freeze just as much, and they both work and encode everything just as well. So in terms of a workstation, this thing will work very nice for me. The video editing, I'm probably not going to do too much on this unit, only because it does lack on power. I do have a Linux-based desktop as well, which has 24 gigs of RAM in it. Obviously, that one, and it also happens to be a Xenon processor, works significantly better in terms of video encoding. In terms of a print server, I do have a very old HP printer connected to this that I was unable to get to work on Windows 10, but I did get that printer working through here. Cups is installed, and I am sharing that printer out, and now Windows 10 machines can print to this on this network. So in terms of print server, works beautifully. In terms of a workstation, works very nice if you just need to use the web browser, your OpenOffice applications. LibreOffice is installed in this, of course. That works nice. Video editing, not so bad, but overall, I'm actually quite happy with this unit as a workstation. So, in summary, yeah, it works. Would I recommend it? Yes, as long as you're not doing anything that's a high-power task, this works absolutely fine. Your web browsers and all that are good. So, if you guys like this video, do give me a thumbs up. Do subscribe, and be sure to check out my next video. I did a very, very interesting haul and was able to acquire some old technology, which I will do some upcycling on. So take care, and I will see you guys in the next video. Good night.